Master Grade RX-178 Gundam Mark II, version 1.0. That's right, we're going back to a little bit of Gunpla this time, and to a particular design that's actually my favorite out of all the Gundam mobile suits. Let's take a look at the sides really quick. We got the front view and the rear view. The head, opening hatch, weapons, shields, and, the usual suspects. But then we got the legs, which actually is like a actual detailed inner frame, which I think is introduced in this model kit specifically. Let's take a look at the other side. We got bazooka mount mode, the hands, legs, and then also this one also has like actual moving pistons as well. Beam rifle, Vulcan pod, and shield action. Let's open up the box. Let's see what we got inside. Here we have the stand-up trading card, as I like to call it. Ugh. Okay, this is the first time I opened it since I got it. I bought it secondhand from a Japanese store on eBay, but it reeks of Grandpa's house. It's just, oh my god. It's very strong. All right, let's take a look at the manual really quick. As usual, we got the artwork for the original design. Really nice inner frame artwork. Next, we got the usual 3D render artwork. Then the name of the parts, runners, instructions. Then we have the actual model all painted up and showcased here in all these really nice artwork. We got a little bit more detail of the inner frame. More sketch artwork. More. And I believe that's it besides the decals that you put on the model kit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Then we got the back side of the model. And yeah, put that to the side. I'm hoping I have all the pieces, since this is secondhand, like I mentioned earlier. Oh, shit. Oh, no. One of them is already open. That's not good. Well, I'll give the benefit of the doubt of the seller that all the pieces are here. So I'm going to cut them out and we're going to go paint them. And yeah, we'll be right back. All right. I cut out most of the pieces, minus the inner frame. Also, I didn't want to do the ASMR sort of like cutting the pieces out from the runners. It would have taken way too much time, and I don't feel like doing that again. Let's move on to the painting segment, and I will see you there. Alright guys, I'm back. It took me a while to get this done, but without further ado, let's get on with the review. So when it comes to painting this time around, I followed the box art, and as you can see, there's a little bit of pre-shading like on the legs, the skirt, arms, and head. And so that's why it took me a little bit longer this time around to paint it. And it didn't turn out that bad. I think it turned out really good. Although I do need to work on my nub sanding, erasing skills. I don't know what you call it. I don't know. I just don't have the patience to sand down nubs. Sorry. Although I am considering making like a painting tutorial, like a set of videos for like beginners. So if anyone wants to start painting these, they can follow my tutorials if they want. And of course, showing you how to properly cut the pieces out and sanding down the nubs. So don't worry about that. But anyway, let's get on with the review. I think the color separation wasn't as bad as the MG RX-78 1.0. I didn't have to like hand paint or mask a lot of pieces, like right here, the gray parts on the foot. That's like one of the only places I had to hand paint. And also the skirt and the grills on the head. Yeah, I didn't really have to mask a lot. I think the only thing I had to mask was the shield right here, the underside of it, but it wasn't really that bad. So, yeah, color separation was actually pretty good this time around. Okay, I want to talk about the main feature, which is the inner frame of the leg. I wouldn't say the design of the inner frame wasn't that crazy, but for the time, it's actually pretty detailed. Well, I mean, you can't really see from the kit, but with this picture in the manual, it's quite honestly actually pretty detailed. Although since this is an old kit, it doesn't have like any like shifting inner frame parts or like shifting armor parts. But for the time, it's actually pretty innovative. Okay, let's talk about the other main feature, which is these pistons. It's actually really interesting because when you're putting it together, you would think that the pistons are conjoined and have a hinge joint because the newer model kits are like that with the pistons on the inner frame. But for this one in particular, each piston is actually individual and is on a ball joint. So I guess it has more of a motion for articulation. As you can see right here, they move independently. All right, before I get into the articulation, I want to go over the accessories really quick. And we'll start off with the bazooka. As you can see here, pretty nicely detailed and designed. We also get an additional magazine for it. And then we also get a set of additional hands. We get 2 open hands right here, and also a pair of fists. And then the accessories on the model kit itself, we have the standard beam rifle. Although on this design, the beam rifle doesn't have a little peg on the handle, so it's just kind of sitting there in the hand, so it tends to really fall off most of the time if you're not careful with it. Next we have the shield. Pretty standard shield too, although it does have a gimmick where it can retract by pulling this part up and then pushing it up like that, like so, and there you go. Then you just do the opposite, and there you go, normal shield. And then the other main accessory that comes with this kit is the Vulcan pods on the head, which I think, in my opinion, makes the Gundam look a lot more badass. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of those things that the Marines wear in Aliens. And then, of course, we have the 2 beam sabers that come with every Gundam. So yeah, not a whole lot going on with accessories. I think this kit focuses more on the gimmicks rather than the amount of stuff you get, which is fine because I think with every new design they did back in the day, they were trying to innovate the capabilities of what these model kits can do. For example, with this model kit, which I will review in the future, is the first transformable Gundam model kit and also features an LED bulb in the stabilizer. But we'll save that for another time. But anyway, let's move on to the articulation. Head does move side to side. I'm pretty sure it can't do a full 360, but it does move up and down that far. Shoulders do go all the way around. Bicep swivel is pretty limited because of this armor part right here, but it can do a full 360 if you take it off, but I'm not going to take it off because I don't want to ruin the paint. And it's really weird. It's also connected to a ball joint rather than a swivel joint, which is also the case for the thigh up here. And the arm does have a double bend. Hands are on a ball joint and turn all the way around. And then these pair of hands actually have articulated fingers for the most part. You have an independent index finger, an independent thumb, and then you have the rest of the fingers that move in and out. See right here, this little armor thing ruined my paint job. Waist does move side to side a little bit. Legs can spread this far. Legs can kick up that far and go back this far. It can only swivel outwards. It can't really swivel inwards because the little armor hits the crotch. Leg does double bend, although it is limited because of this little inner frame right here. Foot's on a ball joint, and interesting is that these 2 parts of the foot are also on ball joints, so they do have a little bit of motion right here, so you can do a bit of a pivot like that, which also, by the way, that's how far the pivot goes. And that's pretty much it for the articulation. But yeah, I would highly recommend finding this and picking it up. It really is part of Gunpla history because it's the first kit to have an inner frame, or at least partially. And I mean, come on, it's a really badass design. And before we close off the video, I want to test my luck with a pack of 151. See if we get the Polyworld. That is my goal, opening these packs and see what we get. We're just gonna run through them really quick. So 1 to the front, and what do we got? We have a Kabuto. I think I don't have him yet. And we got garbage, garbage, garbage. Oh, Pokeball reverse holo, Magnemite. Then we got a Gengar, really nice. And then we got a Seeking. So pretty cool. We got 2 nice cards. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you know the drill. Leave a like and comment your thoughts, and subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. I think my next video is going to be another big one, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you on the next one. So bye bye.